In today's video, we're going to be going over 5 different exercise variations that you can incorporate into your own workout regimen to target the chest using nothing other than a set of suspension straps. First on the list is suspension push-ups. We'll grab one handle in each hand. Hands will be positioned just outside of the width of your chest. From this standing position, we're going to brace the core and ensure that there's a relatively straight line from the back of the head through to the heels. Now from this position, we're going to grip the handles as tightly as possible and slowly walk the feet back, keeping the elbows locked out the entire time. You'll lower yourself down to a position that is relatively intense for your physical capacity. Be aware that the further back you walk, the harder suspension push-ups become because you'll be lifting a greater percentage of your relative body weight. The further forward you walk, the easier the suspension push-up will become. Keep that in mind. If you find that the exercise is a little too hard, you might want to adjust to a more upright position. And if you find it to be not all that intense, you'll be well served to walk your feet back accordingly. From this position, maintaining the hands just outside of chest width, you're going to squeeze the handles as tight as you possibly can. This tight grip will ensure more stability translates through the limbs into the shoulders, mitigating risk of injury. From here, we're going to control the chest down until the chest is almost even with the wrists. From here, we'll press back to a full extension in the arms. Move deliberately and with control because the straps bring an entirely new level of instability and relative intensity. Controlling each rep is crucial and ensuring that you're moving with a deliberate pace throughout the entire set. Next on the increased difficulty list would be a suspension fly. Now, you're going to start in a very similar position to a suspension push-up. The key differences being as follows. Instead of your palms facing down towards the floor, we're going to turn the hands into a neutral grip position just like so. And instead of beginning with your elbows fully locked out, we're actually going to bend the elbows slightly, very slightly, and lower the torso. Now, from this position, you're going to maintain a very tight grip on the handles, and you're going to open your arms out wide as if you're about to give somebody a really big hug. And you want to maintain that tight grip through the entire repetition to ensure maximal stability through the shoulders. Now this is a deceptive exercise variation, so you want to ensure that you have adequate strength to do it through the chest and shoulders. So you'll start much more upright to begin with. So if you can do your push-ups quite low, start even higher than that, almost erring on the side of caution, because the intensity increases dramatically as you move closer to the end range of motion. From this position, we're going to open up the arms wide, keeping that tight grip. As soon as our chest is about equal with our wrists, we're going to drive the palms back and together, squeezing the chest at the peak of the repetition here as if we're trying to pinch a pencil between our pectorals. From here, tight grip, slight bend in the elbows, we're opening up wide. As soon as we're about even with our wrists, considering our chest, we're driving back to the front, maintaining that tight grip through the handles the entire time. Again, err on the side of caution and start with a more upright position here. This is a deceptive exercise in which the intensity increases quite dramatically as you execute the rep. Next on the list is the clock push-up. Now this is one of my personal favorite variations. It's quite challenging and requires a lot of upper body strength. Now, from this position, just as you would start a normal suspension push-up, we're going to maintain a braced core and a neutral spine. And as you lower down, you're going to be reaching one arm out to the side as if you were doing a combination of a fly and a push-up simultaneously. So first off, we're making sure the elbows are locked out, palms are facing down towards the floor, we're at a relative angle to our individual level of strength, and we're squeezing those handles as tight as possible to ensure stability through the limbs that translates into the shoulders. Now from this position, as we lower down to a push-up, we're going to simultaneously reach one arm out to the side. And what I like to do here is actually change the hand positioning to a neutral positioning as I reach out. And you'll see it all kind of happens fluidly here. As I'm lowering down into a push-up, I'm reaching this arm out to the side. Once I reach the bottom range of the push-up, I'm in one fluid motion, bringing that arm in and pressing back up. There's a lot of moving parts here. So it might take a little little bit of work to get used to. But what's crucial on this one is ensuring that you start out with a more upright torso, more upright angle with your body. Feel out the movement and make sure you have adequate strength before moving to a lower position, which is going to bring with it an entirely different level of intensity. Next on the list is a decline push-up. So instead of holding onto the straps, we're actually hooking our feet into them. Now, what's different about this is with the traditional decline push-up, your feet are usually elevated on a stable surface, whereas with the suspension straps, this surface is relatively unstable. So what you're going to do is you're going to position your hands directly underneath your shoulders. Now, with a decline push-up, we still want to make sure we're creating outward torque with the hands. So what I suggest to people is to get up to a full plank position. Make sure your elbows are locked out. From here, squeeze the glutes, tuck the chin, make sure your palms are directly under your shoulders, corkscrew your hands into the floor without changing your position of your fingers. And now we're going to lower down to the ground, contact with the nose or head ever so slightly, and press up to a full extension. Aiming to keep the torso as static as possible. You're going to notice you're going to move a little bit, and that's okay. That contributes to the relative intensity that makes this a little bit harder than your traditional decline push-up. If you've mastered the decline push-up with your feet suspended in the straps, then bringing it even one level further would be the Spider-Man suspension strap decline push-up variation. So we're going to set up just like you did on the decline push-up. So we're going to go up to a full plank position, squeeze the glutes, make sure the back is straight, chin is tucked, palms are directly underneath the shoulders, fingers are pointing ahead. You're going to corkscrew the palms into the floor for stability through the shoulders. And as you lower down to a decline push-up, you're going to bring one leg forward towards the elbow. As you press up, that leg simultaneously returns. Just like Spider-Man climbing a building. As you can imagine, suspension strap push-ups incorporating that Spider-Man variation are quite a bit more intense, considering the time under tension required on a per rep basis. More control, more core activation, and more relative instability because of the movement you're creating as you bring your feet forward and back that you're trying to ensure doesn't throw you completely off throughout the set. Each one of those suspension variations gets progressively harder as listed per the order of the video. Now, if you're struggling with the suspension push-ups, it doesn't make sense to try and move on to the next variation until you've mastered the one previously. Just as much, you wouldn't move from the fly right to the decline suspension push-up, considering the Spider-Man variation. Start in order, be patient, work on mastering the exercise with proper form, and then you'll maximize the progressive benefits that it yields. If you can easily clear 3 to 4 sets of 15 to 20 reps with quality form throughout the entire set, chances are you're ready to move on to the next level of difficulty. In the next video, we'll be covering some back exercises that you can incorporate with a set of suspension straps as well. Let us know what your favorite suspension strap exercise is in the comments, and if you're enjoying the content, make sure you subscribe, and feel free to share it with somebody that could benefit from it as well.